The end of 2023, we will have clear crypto regulation. I think we've all shared with you guys as we head into 2024 after the Bitcoin halving, we're going to see a massive parabolic move. What we understand though is if we get regulation, institutions are more apt to come in. So I'm going to show you a video, but I want to remind you, first they resist it, then they sue it, then they regulate it, then they join it. Pay attention. So we're going to watch this first video. Big shout out to 801_XRP. He puts out some fire content. So we're going to watch this short, the first part of this clip, and I want you to pay attention to what he says, and I'll narrate it.
Cross-border risks is one that we place a lot of emphasis on. It's an obvious thing to say, they are inherently cross-border businesses. They're radically different from any traditional securities products because they systematically have no home market.
Did you hear what he said? That's the Bank of International Settlements, the bank of banks, guys. He said these are inherently much different than the regular securities markets. I've been telling you guys the Ripple versus SEC case was all by design. The most well-run cross-border payment company in the world. The third on the coin market cap got sued by the SEC when this gentleman from the BIS is clearly different than the securities market. There's nothing like this. So they went from first cryptocurrencies a fraud to I'm going to show you the next video and more content around this where they're going to have clear global regulation by the end of 2023. And the fact is, as everybody comes rushing in 2024 to 2025 in the bull run, I'll be selling my crypto to all those people coming in. It's not by chance that MicroStrategy started stacking Bitcoin on the end of 2022 and in Q1 2023 as BlackRock and Vanguard increase their position in MicroStrategy as the #1 Bitcoin holder. Pay attention. So let's listen to what he says. This is the Bank of International Settlements, not me. So this was 13 days ago.
So they could try to challenge what was going on at that time. Now, in truth, I would say our efforts were of limited success in that period. While a lot of those initial coin offerings had an ostensible narrative of we're launching such and such to do this or that, none of that was really true. They were actually really pyramid schemes, and pyramid schemes have a shelf life. And the ICO craze died out, frankly, not because anything we were able to do as regulators, but because pyramid schemes have a shelf life and they die out after a period of time. So the ICO craze ended. But it did impact a number of our members in a number of jurisdictions because at that time you first saw jurisdictions starting to develop regulatory frameworks. And a lot of the regulatory frameworks you saw emerging then were focused on primary markets and were focused on the vocabulary that emerged at the time of the ICO network, which was all talking about security tokens and payment tokens and utility tokens and so on. So you will see that still in the legislation of some jurisdictions that took initiatives at that time to try to deal with crypto. But after that died, crypto, it seems to me, and it seems to us, I think, in Alaska, moved into a new phase. And that
crypto moved into a new phase. First they resist it, then they sue it, then they regulate it, then they join it. We're now in the new phase. We went from cryptocurrencies a fraud, from Larry Fink saying that it's used for money laundering, to saying, hey, Bitcoin is, oh, it's a store of value. Interesting, right? We went from Jamie Dimon telling you you're a criminal if you buy cryptocurrency to them creating their own cryptocurrency platform.
That new phase was somewhat more complicated and somewhat different, and the key features were centralized international crypto trading platforms, stablecoin arrangements, and the beginning of DeFi. And frankly, it was much more complicated and much closer to securities markets in terms of what they were doing and have been doing, because arguably we're still in that phase or are coming to the end of that phase at the moment.
Coming to the end of that phase at the moment, defining what a security is, what a token is, and he's going to let you know by 2023 they will have regulatory clarity.
So we went through a period of assessment. We produced a number of reports. We produced a report in 2020 on crypto platforms. We produced a report on retail investors, and we produced a report on stablecoin. And then we went on to produce a report, which frankly took some time to do because it is complicated what's happening in this space. We did a report on DeFi. And pulling all that information together, we moved into a new phase of work. Because it's at that point in time that IOSCO decided that we need to produce recommendations for how crypto should be regulated. And the first step in that was our work with CPMI to produce recommendations in relation to stablecoins, and that came out in July 2022. And at the same time, we produced a roadmap promising to deliver global recommendations in relation to how crypto should be regulated when it comes to securities market, and we promised to deliver that by the end of 2023.
Isn't it ironic that we're coming to the end of the Ripple versus SEC case? It was initiated in 2020 when they started giving their recommendations around cryptocurrency in 2020. 2021, we had a bull run. 2022, they issued their guidance on stablecoins. A stablecoin collapsed, 2 exchanges collapsed, but they don't go after those exchanges, interesting enough, or they met with those exchanges, interesting, right? And now we're in 2023. What I shared with you guys is the capital markets come collapsing down on the back end of this year. All the, I don't want to call them the elites, the 1% are going to be buying the dip. As they bring in regulation, there's going to be a massive parabolic move after the Bitcoin halving. And there's going to be a lot of people coming into crypto that are excited, and the elites are going to be selling you their crypto and buying intrinsic value assets like gold, silver, land, more companies, insurance. Know the game, family. Be non-emotional. Stop trying to get rich quick. There is no get rich quick. It's getting wealthy for sure by understanding how the monetary system and money flows. First they resist it, then they sue it, then they regulate it, then they join it. We're in the regulation and joining phase, and when institutions have regulation, there's going to be massive adoption. And when there's massive adoption, there's going to be nice, beautiful price appreciation. But if you have the same foundation, you're going to end up in the exact same situation. That's why rich parents have rich kids. That's why poor parents have poor kids. If you don't rewire the foundation, you'll end up in the exact same situation. Everybody's teaching you how to make money, but how to rewire the foundation is a whole different story. As Jim Rohn says, you can give $1 million to every single person in society. It'll end up in the same person's hand, or the same 1%'s hand, because they understand the foundation and rewiring it. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. As we always say, warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go. If you need support rewiring the foundation, we've helped over 6,800 warriors with education. We are not an investment platform. We will not DM you to send us money. Those are all scammers. I do have my Index Universal Life team, insurance team. You can set up a free consultation in my bio. But please don't send anybody money through WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram, or TikTok here. Or within the messages, look for the red creator. And understand, we will never proactively DM you. We do not invest people's money. I love you guys. I appreciate you. From my family's heart to yours. Have a blessed day.